have Megan and Brandon with me today.
What's up? What's up?
Hey,
everyone.
Hope everybody's doing good. I know we did a little later stream today. I just thought, why not get away with it today?
Right.
Okay.
And I thought we would just talk about disabilities. I myself have a sister that's disabled, and I have a Hey Claire and Nikki May and Judy Chick. And so, hey, Ashman. And so I thought I would tell my story about what happened with my little sister. Hey, it's just chat. And I know Brandon's going to share a little bit about his story. And then I'm going to talk about my son because he has epilepsy. So I thought we would just kind of talk a little bit. But hold on. It's going to get loud for a second because my son's friend's here and his truck is super loud if you cannot hear it. I'm going to mute this for a second.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm streaming no stream. They can't hear me right now. I should be able to hear them. Okay, I can.
April.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Dark Magician.
They can't hear me right now because I'm
Maria
muted.
Rose. Britt had to mute just for a second. She'll be right back.
I'm just waiting.
Hey, Lindsay.
Yeah, I thought she dropped out too for a second though, but
I guess she must have been outside or something.
Yeah, that's how it sounded. Sounded windy.
Yeah, it did. I bet she was standing outside.
Yeah.
It sounded like a car was driving up or something. I don't know what I was hearing.
I couldn't figure it out either.
I don't know. I think she was wanting to start off by talking about her sisters, what she was saying.
Yeah, and then you talk about your daughter or something.
Well, she was going to talk about her sister. Yeah. Oh, and then she's going to talk about her son, because her son has epilepsy.
Oh, okay.
So she wanted to share a little bit about...
Speaking of my son, his friend dropped him off, and his son cut his exhaust. It was super loud, and they just pulled up. And so it was so loud, I didn't want it to back. But hey, Maria Rose, hey, Dark Magician, hey, Dina, hey, Lindsay, hey, that Amber chick. I'm just trying to say hi. Hey, April. Okay. All right. I think we said hi to everybody now. So yeah, I was going to talk about my little sister. And I'll just start off by prefacing, this is from, a point of view of a 6-year-old, because that's what happened. So in June of 1989, my little sister, it was a Sunday, and we were watching TV in my parents' bedroom, and there was a loft on it, so it was 3 stories, so 20 feet. And we just moved into this place, and the screen door didn't fit correctly on the sliding glass door, and it was really hot, so we had to get the sliding glass door open. And my little sister knocked the screen out and got underneath in between the screen and the railings. The railings were the wrong way. So you know how it's up and down?
I'm hoping that this works.
I can't think of which way is which. And she slipped underneath it, and she fell 20 feet and landed on her head. And she was 2 at the time. And my mom and my dad heard a high-pitched crying, and they didn't know exactly what it was. And my dad ran outside because my mom at the time was 9 months pregnant with one of my sisters. And so obviously my mom couldn't run out there. And my dad found her, and they called 911. And when they called 911,
having tech issues,
they had the wrong address, so it prolonged getting the ambulance to where we were at. I remember hearing the cry, and I didn't really know what was going on because obviously I was so I didn't quite understand what was going on. And I remember like coming downstairs and sitting in like the living room, and I remember my dad had got my sister, my older sister, and had her come outside with him to comfort my little sister because she was awake. You know, she was obviously knew what was going on, and they were, you know, trying to make sure she wouldn't move or anything like that. And my dad told my mom, you know, you need to call 911, and so they did all that.
Right.
And I remember my dad coming up the stairs, just stopping at the top of the stairs and just broke down crying. And I've never seen my dad cry before. And so I remember them, the ambulance finally getting there, and they couldn't airlift her out because of where we were at. We were in like kind of the woods, and so they couldn't just airlift her. They didn't have a good spot. And she had this like pink jacket that she wore all the time. And I remember looking at like the front window and seeing the pink jacket over the top of her. So I couldn't really see like anything that was going on. And so we lived in Seattle at the time, so they rushed her to the hospital there. And they said that she had severe traumatic brain injury, and the swelling was so bad they weren't sure she was going to make it. So they ended up having to take out half of her skull on her left side because to relieve the brain. And they put that in, they froze her skull, and I think my mom said like nitrogen.
Okay, wow.
And she was in a coma in the one hospital for 10 days, and my mom was 6 days overdue with my sister at the
Nitrogen.
time.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, and so
Nitrogen.
ended up having my little sister, and then like was released 2 days later. And you know, we had family that came and stayed with us because my mom had, let's see, at the time she had 5 kids. There's 5 of us. So us four older were kind of just, we went kind of wherever they could put us. And hey Dottie. And,
hey Dottie.
So they had her in a coma for 10 days. And that during that time, my mom played music to her and talked to her, and you know all the things that they say to do when they're in a coma.
Right.
And we weren't allowed to go to that hospital because it was like it just was one of those places like 12 years and younger couldn't go, so none of us kids could go. And so then they transferred her over to the Children's Hospital in Seattle. And I remember when we finally got to go see her, she was still pretty much in a coma. But she didn't have half of her, you know, she didn't have her skull, so her head was all indented. And she ended up staying in the hospital for 2 months. And when she came home, she was blind because the pressure on her brain was on her optic nerves as well, and so she couldn't see, and she was paralyzed on her right side because your left brain connects your right side and your right brain does your left, and because it was her right was her left brain was affected, that affected her right side, and to this day she's still paralyzed on her right arm. She can walk now, but so she had the skull out. She had the piece of that skull out for 4 months, and then they went back in and they did the surgery to reattach her skull. And she has a big old scar on her head from it still to this day. And I just remember like how it affected our family because it was like a death in our family.
Right.
Nam Japlum, thank you for coming. It was one of those like you don't expect it, and so it was like a death in our family because she was 2 and she was this happy and vivacious and outgoing little girl, and then all of a sudden she's not. And my mom had said like that it was just like a death that she had to get over. You know, she had to grieve the loss of the little girl that she had.
Right. I bet
you know, and so she to this day has seizures really bad. She has to take lots of medication to prevent those seizures from happening. And her mentality is Oh, you're fine, Brandon. Hey, Kayla.
Hey, Kayla.
And so her mentality is like a 4 or 5 year old. And
Yeah.
she is about the sweetest thing I've ever, sweetest thing I've ever met in my entire life. I love her to death. And, but she's funny. She knows music though. I don't know if it's because of how, your brains are, I think the right brain is like, the right part of your brain is during like the musical and that kind of stuff. Um, but she has short-term memory loss,
Never heard of it.
and she will remember people though, like from forever ago. And
Maybe.
always
There might be
her
parts of your brain that are like that,
sister,
but
like
I
your
don't know.
brother,
I don't
or
think so.
and she doesn't talk the greatest.
You could look it up.
She
I mean,
talks well
but
enough
I
you
don't
can
know.
understand her. But I have a nickname for her. I call her Old Grandma because you know how older ladies like the purses and they don't like to be messed with. She's like that.
A little purse.
Yeah, she got her purse, and you're not allowed to play with it or touch it. And
Right.
so I try to steal it from her, and she gets so mad at me. So I've called her Old Grandma for years. But if you say it to her, like if it's not me, but if you say it to somebody else, and you'll go, "Hey, Old Grandma," she'll go, "No, only Brittany called me that."
Oh, that's so sweet.
And she's so, but the only person that she can like fight with her is Natalie, my little sister. Like, don't you fight? I'm like, how do you fight with Alyssa? Like, she's such a sweetheart. Like, how do you get away? Like, I'm
Right.
like, but I think that because I've dealt with like having a little sister that's handicapped or handicapable, as we call her, it's made me super compassionate towards people with disabilities. Like people used to look at her and make fun of her, or just look at her really weird or whatnot, and like it makes me so mad because it's like she can't help what happened to her. Little kids are definitely crazy and don't realize dangers and all of that. She was only 2.5, barely 2.5. So, she didn't understand that like height and the funny thing, not the funny thing, the weird thing is when she hit her head, she didn't break any bones. Just her broke her head. Just broke her head. That was it. That was it.
What am I doing here?
There's food to eat in the house. No. Sorry, guys. So, yeah. So I think that was. It makes me very compassionate towards people that have any sort of disabilities, and then of course, I just think that sometimes people don't realize somebody has a disability, and it makes you really sad when you find out like that they do, and people can be harsh and mean and cruel, and it just makes me so mad. Like I'm very much an advocate for people with any sort of learning disability or special needs or whatever.
Right.
You all right, Brandon?
I didn't know if I was supposed to say something or not.
No, you can ask questions or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I've never really gotten bullied. I mean, if you're talking about, that time I talked about when I got, the cops called on me, I was in a live chat, and I said that, yeah. Well, this father had two calls, and I'm guessing they were poked on, but it wasn't by me, but I felt like it was because he thought any creepy person would do that. Or someone who was like me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Which is total BS. That never happened.
It's okay. I got mad.
I don't think you're creepy looking.
Well, on camera, I don't know. It's in real life how I move and everything. It's weird. How I look, I think is okay. Let's see if I can. I can.
You don't look.
I'm average looking. I know that. I'm an average looking dude. I know that. Whatever.
So do you want to talk a little bit about your disability?
Yeah.
Okay,
You don't have to.
I will. It's. Do you know what cerebral palsy is?
I do.
Yes.
I read up on it once. It's like 1/2% of the general population have it. It's probably more now because that was old. But yeah, it affects my motor skills, my speech, how I look. It's motor. It's I don't quite move right, you know. It's
right.
How people expect is normal. So I look creepy. It's okay. I was also going to talk about was
So
he?
were you teased in school and stuff because of your disability?
I got a little bit of verbal bullying, but not much.
Okay.
And I don't remember any physical bullying at all. But it's just the being ignored thing is weird. It's like it was like you need to socialize a dog. It's kind of like that. I don't mean anything by it. I'm just relating it to it. The kid needs to learn how to socialize with other kids. I don't know how to say it any better. It's
Right.
So your cerebral palsy, why can I not say that? Has it affected your body in any way?
Well, it's like how I move. My joints aren't that well. They're good, but they're weird. They hurt every once in a while, even if there's nothing wrong. I mean, I don't have that much energy. I can't walk too far. I can walk, but not that far. I can ride a bike though, so.
So can you drive?
Well, I haven't tried. I haven't tried to get a license yet.
Okay.
I don't know if I shake too much a lot, so I don't think.
Asking questions because I'm sure you're like, I don't know exactly what to say. So, and I'm a questioner.
Yeah, that's good.
I want to ask because I knew somebody because my little sister obviously in special education. I knew a girl that they were twins, and one of them was perfectly normal, had a little bit of cerebral palsy, but the other one was in a wheelchair and was really bad. She couldn't talk. It was a really sad.
I remember being in classes where students would freak out and everything, but I never got hurt. I've seen that's pretty crazy though.
Okay.
I don't know how you're taking that. I'm just. I remember seeing it. Yeah. It's crazy.
And then, so April said, I want to see, people don't think I'm disabled because I don't look like it, but I was born with oxygen in my brain, so I cannot read or write. And I'm really sorry to hear that. I know that sometimes that's hard when you have a disability that people can't see on the outside, so they assume there's nothing wrong with you. And so that's really frustrating. Just in the general sense that people aren't listening, people think that you're fine when you're not.
Exactly.
But yeah, I get that.
No, sweetie, you're from the United States, aren't you?
I'm just reading the live schedule on my phone. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you two talk. I'm sorry. I'm just. I'm mute.
YouTube doesn't want to translate you. Brandon.
YouTube doesn't want to what?
Doesn't want to translate you. They don't like you.
Speech recognition, that's what it's about.
Sorry. I thought that was kind of funny. And hey, Christopher, and always, and Sweet Pea. And we were talking, and I don't like to interrupt my piece. That's fine. When they're on.
Christopher.
And so I guess I can talk about my son.
Yes.
He is almost 18 now, and when he was 14, one night in December, my oldest son came in and said, "Mom, there's something wrong with Hunter." And I said, "Okay, what's going on?" And he said, "I don't know." He's like, he was shaking and he's bleeding from the mouth. And I said, "Okay." And because my little sister had grand mal seizures, I knew immediately what had happened. He had stopped shaking by the time I got in there. But when I saw him, because he was on a bunk bed, he was pinned between the wall and the bunk bed. And all I could see was like his face and like just blood pouring out of his mouth. He had grand mal seizure.
Oh, wow.
And we obviously called 911 and rushed him to the ER, and they said that, yeah, he definitely has a seizure, and he's really out of it, and he bit his tongue, almost bit it off, because he, obviously had a seizure.
Yeah.
And so we took him they said if it happens, took him to the neurologist. They said that they weren't sure if it was epilepsy or not, because he never ever had one before. But I guess now that we look back on it, he must have had like minor, the other type of seizure, where they just kind of like out, or they drop things or whatnot. And he said if he does have epilepsy, it'll happen within the next 2 weeks. It's a 50-50 chance. And we said, okay. They did like the EEG. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. They did an MRI. They weren't sure. Nothing really came up like why he would have it. And so he then within 2 weeks had another one, and I happened to just be in the bedroom with him when it happened. And so of course I put him on his side, and we called the ER, the ambulance again, and they were like, okay, so let's do more testing. They put him on medication, and that seemed to help him a lot. And then we wanted to switch him from one medication to the other, and he started having issues, and so they decided to do another like 24-hour EEG. And it turns out that he has genetic epilepsy, which means it runs in our family somewhere, which some of the family members on both of our sides have epilepsy, so we don't know who side it is that it came from. But that means that, like, my daughter could have it. My oldest doesn't have it, because obviously he's old enough now that if he showed signs of it, he would have it. And so then like 2018, he wasn't taking his medication, and he was at work, and he had another grand mal seizure, and they had to rush him to the ER. And then because he had that big seizure, he wasn't allowed to get his driver's license or permit for a year. And so, it's just interesting. Like, you don't realize that those are kind of the things. Yeah, it was super scary, and because my little sister had those grand mal seizures, I knew what they were, and I knew how to handle it. It was still super scary, and like I still, like, we didn't realize that he. Oh,
this is cool.
Scary.
I think I'm doing okay.
Now super bad. Yep, I take Tegretol, which my little sister takes.
It's going good so far.
I'm not doing so much.
In my opinion, I'm doing pretty good.
Yes, thank you. It definitely is scary. Yeah.
I'm muted. They can't hear me.
So scary, and he has short-term memory loss because of it, and he was really struggling in school. Like, before, he was doing really good, like good.
I'm going back and forth between my channel and hers.
But he was really struggling.
Just to make sure I'm still on.
Just saying, I'm we're getting an IAG for you. And so that's helped out a lot. And then of course with all the virus stuff, he's been doing a lot better because he doesn't actually have to like be in the classroom because my kids are just finally going back to school after a year. And so he's on track to graduate, which we're really, really excited.
That's awesome.
And so, I just think that like when you have a disabled person in your family, it really can it just makes you more compassionate towards other people and their disabilities. And I'm struggling with my own health right now. I kind of have mentioned it on Twitter, but I just went and saw a hematologist yesterday. Oh, with Hunter, that happened about 4 years ago when we found out that he was diagnosed with epilepsy.
Hey, what's up?
And so, and you guys, so my little
I'm on Just Blitz channel.
They told her they weren't sure she was.
We're talking about disabilities and stuff. It's
been
pretty cool so far.
Potty trained or anything
I'm gonna
like
keep
that.
this up.
She's 34 now, and she is thriving and amazing, and I just love her. Sorry, I meant to say that. But yeah, so.
I knew there was shit going on between Judge Butt and Little Eddie All, but I don't know anything about it, and I'm not gonna get involved. I don't care. I'm gonna be both of their friends. She already said it's cool, but
I
just
don't know exactly what's going on. Obviously, I won't know more until I go back to the hematologist. But that's why I've been like not streaming because I've been super, super tired.
Hey, let's see if I can unmute and
No,
talk
I didn't.
again.
What did you do? Aw, Hunter, you're so cute. Hunter goes, I'm not struggling anymore, but I am with. I don't want to. I'm not saying that. He said, I'm not disabled. I'm just special.
Right.
I'm not doing raising the other one, you little psycho. He's not struggling anymore. He's doing a lot better, and it doesn't. I don't think it. He's like amazingly, even though he has epilepsy, he is really resilient, and he's a good kid, and he's funny.
Yeah,
but
he's
an asshole too. Megan wants to steal him.
Yes, I do. He's a sweet kid.
I honestly, sweetie, I hopefully with this hematologist stuff, I get results because I've been struggling with stuff for a long time with my body. This isn't the first time that I've had my saturation levels at 9%. So, and why they sent me to the hematologist is because my white blood cell count has been elevated for many years, and that's just not normal. It shouldn't be that way. And my gynecologist just happened to see it and said, I want to send you to a hematologist. And
yeah,
Megan's a LPN, so she kind of went over some of my blood work with me, and because she's my best friend, and obviously I asked her to look at that stuff with me. And there's definitely something going on. They think that I either have like a autoimmune disorder,
right,
or something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm, suspicious about. I'll be curious to see all your other labs, and of course, when you go back to the hematologist,
right? Yeah.
See what she has to say.
Yeah. I love them. Yeah, I do love when things go better than they expect. Especially with my son. He's a good kid. He's a pain in the butt, though. I love him, but he is too opinionated for his own dang good. Oh, Christine Marie, I'm praying that that's not what you have. Hello.
Let me see.
She's getting tested for that virus.
Oh, goodness. I hope you don't have it, Christy.
Yeah,
I've had it. Feel better soon.
Yeah, me too. I've had that. I've had to have been tested for it twice just because I've had procedures and stuff. The first time was fine, didn't hurt at all. The second time I wanted to punch the guy after he was done, and then he's like, oh, you've been sick since you got your second vaccine. Oh man, I'm so sorry. That's so fun. So yeah, that's kind of. I think that when you have. Oh, you're fine. Lindsay, no problem. I think sometimes when people have a disability, whether you can see it or not, we just need to be kind and loving towards each other.
Do. Right.
I think that we've got to understand that like people have the
there's just all kinds of disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even
definitely.
Like when I was in the second grade, I found out I was dyslexic, which is a learning disability, and I got picked on a little bit, like in the elementary school for it, and I ended up having to go to a different school because of it. But I remember feeling different, and before I really understood what it was. So I think it is really important to even if it's just something like a learning disability, to treat everybody with kindness, no matter what.
Right. Yeah. Amen.
Yeah. Definitely treat everybody the same. Yeah.
Because it's hurtful, you never know to be picked on. Exactly.
And like we talk a lot about mental health, and with my mental health, and other people's mental health, I feel like that can be a disability as well. There's all sorts of disabilities. But, and we were talking about like a lot of them. But I've been rewatching Teen Mom too. Oh, I hate that word. Yeah.
Schizophrenia and stuff like that. That word. I know exactly. I've been called that a few times. It's not fun.
Oh yeah, and Christy Marie, don't feel like that. It's not interrupting chat. It's no biggie. I'm kind of ADHD, so I don't really stay on topics that well. I usually do the first half an hour, and then after that, we kind of just talk about whatever. So.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna also talk about how hard it was to get diagnosed. I've already said a little bit of it in
diagnosed.
It was crazy. I did like appointments to have blood taken, and then they say they didn't get enough blood. They need to get more, and that happened so many times. We walked out. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, I've been struggling to get this
to get
any sort of diagnosis. They told me I had fibromyalgia. Yeah, and then I'm still in the process of it. Oh, Nikki May, you're fine. And it's one of those things like, I mean, I'm 38 years old, and I think that, I lean towards certain diagnoses because, like, from the symptoms and everything, it seems like, it could be, an autoimmune disorder. I really think that's what it is because I get sick real easily just by random.
It's possible.
And so it just would make sense. Like, yeah. And so, and then.
Did you see in the chat, Lindsay was talking about hers too, and what her disability and what she deals with.
Oh, wow.
It's genetic.
It's a rare bone disease. That's crazy.
I know she deals with a lot of pain. I hope that's okay to say, Lindsay. Every day.
I mean, I think that that's it's. We don't know what people are dealing with.
Right.
They told me I had fibromyalgia 13 or 14 years ago, and that was just kind of it. But I've had other symptoms. I've gone to a rheumatologist before, and they said, "Oh, well, you have inflammation, but we don't really know, so we just think it's fibromyalgia." Okay, but but now as I'm getting a little older, a lot of more things are starting to come up with blood work, and I think that, you know, I haven't had real great doctors that are willing to listen to me, and I'm actually going to see a new doctor tomorrow, and I really hope that it's a good fit because, and don't be afraid to change doctors.
Like, no, a lot of doctors out there that think they're smarter than you.
You have to be your own advocate and fight for your own health. I mean,
yeah,
you have to speak up to the doctors and tell them sometimes what you want, what's going on with you, and put your foot down and say, "Hey, I know something is not right."
Yeah.
And, it's sad that it has to be that way, but sometimes it's the only way to get them to do the right tests and stuff for you. And yes, don't be afraid to get a second opinion.
Definitely. Oh, definitely. That's key.
Or a third or a fourth.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I was taking my blood yesterday. I was like, "How many vials are you guys taking?" And she was like, 8. I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, it's hard to find a doctor sometimes these days that really.
Yeah, but you have to be your own advocate.
The patient, you know, and a lot of times we're just a number to them. So
the Shriners that actually helped me get diagnosed.
Right.
You know who the Shriners are?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I finally got diagnosed.
Okay.
Oh wow! So Christoph Van always said my brother had a traumatic brain injury at 16 and has forever changed his life. I cannot believe how cruel people really are towards those with disabilities. Absolutely cruel. And I think that's what I wanted to talk about the most, is because people can be so cruel with people with traumatic brain, any sort of disability.
Right.
And most of the time, people weren't mean to my little sister, but it was because she had 4 older siblings that would, pretty much shoot him down. And I was a feisty little kid, so I wasn't about to let anybody ever let anything happen. And I'm really sorry that happened to your brother, because I know how devastating it affects your family. Like my dad, kind of like, he didn't know how to handle it. My mom was like stalwart, man. That lady, she has been taking care of my little sister since it happened, day one. And my mom is almost 62 and is my sister's full-time care provider. Like, she takes care of her no matter what. Even though it's hard for her, I know that mentally it can be really hard, and I know that someday my mom won't be able to. But luckily, my little sister has a lot of siblings, and each of us have all said that we would take turns taking care of her. Yeah, and Nikki said my brother also had a traumatic brain injury as a baby, and because he looks normal on the outside but doesn't have the mental capacity, at someone his age, people are downright cruel. Amen.
Yeah,
it's so hard.
Yeah.
I said hi to you earlier, but hi, Doobie, Floyd, Jack. You have PTSD, and I'm so sorry, Christine Marie. That's
I gotta
so
let them talk.
I know. I'm sorry too, Christy.
This is a really good show so far.
It's never easy to have to deal with all of the stuff that goes along with having a disability.
Right.
Yeah, I think the maturity level he stopped at 16. Yeah, I think that and that's hard when people don't understand when they look like a full-grown adult, but they all, their mental capacity isn't a full-grown adult, and people don't understand
that. Yeah.
And I think that's where, like, go ahead. Go ahead, Brandon. I'm just talking. And I think that's where.
I was just agreeing with you.
Right.
Yeah. I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. I hate when I interrupt people. So me and Megan are so bad at that. We're like, go ahead,
Yep.
go ahead.
We always do that to each other.
Flow's okay. I don't want to interrupt when they're on the flow.
We're like, no, you're good. You go ahead. No. Yeah, it's so hard, and I just feel like it's important to have these open conversations, because people deal with autism. Josh that comes on, he had a really bad car accident, and I know that he struggles with his, how he speaks.
Right.
And then, I have family members that have ADHD or, autoimmune, all these different disabilities. And they don't realize that, that they can get help, and they can, and there is a website, and I don't know if Nikki May can be, oh, it's okay. If you need to make dinner, make dinner.
I don't know how much.
The website is the ADA, and it's the America's Disabilities Act. I think Nikki May could probably get the website. So if you have a disability and you need some help or want your rights, that's a great place to go. And it's funny because my stepdad is, I won't say exactly what he does, but he does work with people that are disabled, and that's not even how my mom and my stepdad met. But that's what he does, is works with disabled people, and I think it's really cool that he does that. But it's just weird, like the one guy my mom finds happens to be like cool, like works, with people, like adults that have disabilities,
Right.
Okay.
So I just thought that was, and he's a super. I love him. I call him P Daddy. Oh yeah, you have severe ADHD. Oh, thank you, Nikki May. You are amazing. Hey, I saw Cristola in here, and I forgot to say hi to her if I didn't say hi to her. I'm sorry, hon. I feel so bad. I meant to say hi, and then I think I was in the middle of. I think I answered you, but didn't say hi. Oh man, yeah. I know, like, the ADHD runs in my family, and I think that I have it in a certain. I may be more ADD than ADHD. I'm not really hyper, but and and then the fibromyalgia is not easy.
No.
Yes, thank you, Nikki May. I know that's a good. And when I'm done with the video, I will. Okay. I'll put the link for the ADA.gov. So if anybody needs some help, they're a great website, and that's a government. It gives you all sorts of information about the Disability Act and all of that. And I've definitely looked into things on that because I think it's important to know your rights as a person that has a disability.
Yeah,
it makes me nervous though, like what could be going on with me. I'm really struggling. I try to be like strong and act like there's nothing wrong, but I'm really struggling with it, like not knowing and wanting to know, but then like scared to find out. What if it is something like, because obviously they're like, it could be cancer. They, she didn't think it was. She was like, oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Amy. I did not know that. She said there are different resources for ADA on your local state websites as well. Thank you for that, Nikki. I did not know that. It makes me nervous to kind of find out, because they're like, the hematologist doesn't think it's cancer. She thought it definitely show more signs of like sickness or anything like that. But it's just the not knowing, and I'm sure Brandon can relate to that, of the not knowing what's going on and knowing that there's something wrong, but just not knowing what it is.
Yeah, being disabled, and yes, actually, it's weird. It makes things weird. I mean, I wasn't really sad, but it was weird. You know, I didn't know why I was being treated the way I was being treated. Yeah.
Is it a little scary? Right.
Have I ever gotten it? It was
like gave you your diagnosis.
Shoot, I can't remember. I was 12, 13 maybe. One of those. I'm not sure which one. Yeah, I was like 12 or 13.
Oh, okay. That's a long time to wait for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially,
okay.
Yeah. What else? I'm not good at talking that much. I'm not. Yeah.
It's okay. You're doing great.
Thanks, Christ Complex. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah,
I
thanks
appreciate
for coming.
it. You know, I think that it is a very important topic. And this is the point of this channel is...
Okay, I'm sucking right now.
This is pretty much...
It's been good so far, but that sucked.
You know, life stuff. That's really
sorry.
what this channel was. My original main goal was to talk about everyday life things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you could make a call-in show about it. Is that what you're talking about? Like, well, no, just a place where everyone can talk.
Yeah.
So,
That's
okay,
what I kind of wanted. It was to come in and be able to have, you know, like a say and your, you know, everyday life thing.
Right.
And
that really sucked.
That was kind of my
fucking interrupted him. I didn't mean to.
But then also just, you know, because mental health is such a big thing, but we also have to deal with life. And I've always been a very compassionate and loving person. And while I'm not perfect, I make mistakes. I say things I shouldn't say. And thanks. Yeah, panels are not always easy.
Right.
I'm not perfect. I've hurt people's feelings. I've said or done things, you know, but I would never want anybody to ever feel like they weren't welcome here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And that was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want people to feel like I want them to, like, I have people that, you know, come from different communities, and I'm just, you know, I'm going to tell y'all now, I probably won't talk about Katie Joy anymore on this channel. I might, you know, we can reference her, but that's not what this channel was ever about. It was never about her. And yeah, I have made a couple of streams about her, but this is really about real life and what we deal with day to day as people. Because it's important for people to be able to have a place in their voice.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I can answer.
Laughing at Dewey. She cracked me up.
I guess I could answer questions from the chat if they have any. I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Hold on.
We do need a break from her. Don't get me wrong. I will still go into people's, you know, chats and talk about her, but I just don't want that to be.
Hold on.
You know, I want, like, and by the way, everybody, I have 300 subs. Thank you all so much for subscribing. I love my replay gang. I'm so grateful for you all. Everybody that supported me. It means the world to me that people, I didn't think that anybody would come with me. Honestly, I straight up didn't think anybody would. I didn't think that, like, I had anything to say. You know? And so I just been super, super grateful to anybody that's been on my panel. I'm grateful to Meg because she's my awesome, beautiful best friend and co-host.
Thank
You know,
you.
and I'm grateful for anybody that was like willing to come up on my panel. You know, my sister comes in too, and I'm grateful for that. And you know, I'm extremely grateful for all the love and support that I get when I do my streams, and you know, even on Twitter, lots of people are very like loving and kind to me, and I really appreciate it. And anybody that isn't, okay, you're not hurting my feelings. Like, you may make it, you know, at some points, but I don't hate you. You know, you can do what you want to do, and I love you anyways. Well, not everybody, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
Right.
you know, like I have so much going on in my own personal life that I do this for fun. Like, I've never asked money from anybody ever. You know, I'm sure people are like, well, why don't you put your PayPal out there or this or this or this? And it's like, well, because that's not what I'm here for. I don't need the money. Like, you know, I do this because I love being able to talk to people.
I do this joke. Sorry. Like, it's, let's see. You know who Uniwalk is, right? Okay, don't
Yo,
yeah.
look
oh,
into
yeah.
him.
Oh,
You
I
do.
know who he is. I promise.
Absolutely know.
Okay,
Yes,
it's
we do.
a dig at him. So, whatever. I'm not gonna explain all of it, but yeah.
Well, he is a whole joke, so you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is a joke, so he's
That
we
he
just
is.
yeah.
Dude.
He
Yeah.
is a big joke.
Yep.
So he's like the laughing stock of YouTube.
Big time. Yes, he is.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of slow now. We'll see what they do. I can't think of anything to do.
Sorry.
Shit.
Yeah, this is our escape from life. Exactly. Like, I mean, and it's a good outlet for me to like be able to talk out a lot of my stuff. You know, and thank you guys, everybody, for the congratulations. It means a lot to all of us.
Yes, it does.
You know, I really do. And this is our.
But
escape
I'm
from
also
real life,
recording
right?
this.
For
So.
real.
Yes.
Whatever.
But and I'll keep everybody.
I'm still gonna post the video. So.
Oh, thank you for listening.
I'm recording it and
appreciate it
streaming
very
it,
much.
so you won't miss anything.
Yeah, you know, I want this channel to be made organically. Like, I want people to be here that want to be here. I want people to watch that want to watch and participate or just listen. I'm grateful for that. You know, I have a few of my people that just listen, or my Aussie friends that rewatch on the replay, and they always make comments in the, you know, in the
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
In the oh my gosh, in the chats and
the comments,
and everything.
Comment section.
Oh,
Comment
here
section.
you have a question, Brandon, from Nikki May.
Okay. Maybe I should read it out loud. But it's basically saying, have I gotten?
Oh, you got it highlighted,
I
Brent?
can read
Okay.
it real quick. It just says, Brandon, coming from your viewpoint, yeah, as a big sister, does it frustrate you if a family member sticks up for you or gets defensive with cruel people?
No, I understand it.
Brandon, you muted yourself.
Oh, I'm muted? No.
He'll be right back, I'm sure.
I'll come back and answer it. But,
yeah.
Well, answer that question.
It frustrates me, like, coming from my point of view as a big sister, that people have ever, like, it frustrates me if family, like, I've never had a family member get mean or cruel, thankfully, because my sister's, like, the sweetest person, but it would make me mad. I would get defensive. So, okay, Brandon, you're unmuted now.
Oh, damn it. Did it go out again? Yeah? Okay, maybe it will. God damn it. Hello. Okay, what the fuck? God damn it. Okay. It's good to go. Let's see how it sounds. Yo. Hello. 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 Okay, there we go. Hello. Yes. Audio. Hello. Fuck. What happened? Hello. We're up. Hello. Let's try to go in again. But something. Gotta get back in as soon as possible. Didn't even move. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Shit. Damn it. Something. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, something just went. Hello, hello. Wait a minute, there we go. There was sound. I mean, hello, hello. Okay, let's see. Hold on. I'm still holding all of this. Fuck yeah, dude. Hidden? Oh, no, what the fuck? Damn it. Let's see. There we go. Okay, there we go. Let's try this again. Oh, yo. Hello, hello. Okay, finally, fuck. Just trying to come back in. I was gonna say, yeah, I don't mind if I get defended. It's cool actually. I like it when I see my sister defend me and shit. It's personally, I like it. Yeah, personally, I like it. Yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, that's how it was with me and Brittany, my sister. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely how it is. Oh, yeah. I get what you're trying to say. I get what you're trying to say without saying it. Yeah. I do. I'm in. Yeah. I have my own tent even. I need to get it fixed, but I have a tent. I... There we go. Fuck, dude. Oh, man. Weasley go too. Sorry. I'm a pothead. I don't kill. Yeah. It definitely is. Lousy. Yeah. I might come on more often. I might ask to. Yeah, definitely. I will.